So in this video, we're going to look on finding the center, vertices, and foci of an ellipse. So kind of a quick thing, an ellipse actually has two foci. So there are 2 points, and kind of you can think about if I had a string and it was attached to both of these points, and then I kind of had my pen here. The ellipse is drawn by basically pulling that string tight and kind of going all the way around. So that's why those foci are important. They're also the places where, if you think about it, if you were in like a sound, if this was like a room and you looked at the sound waves would bounce to these 2 places within the ellipse. So in this case, and again, I want to refer you to, just like I have in some of these other conic section videos, I want to refer you to the sheet that I have up on Canvas that has all of the formulas and everything nicely organized for you. So in these problems, we want to find the center, vertices, and foci of, and so the when we talk about the vertices, we're talking about, so just so we kind of know, the center of the ellipse is here. The vertices are they're basically the points that are perpendicular to the center. So there's 4 of them, 2 in the x direction, 2 in the y direction. And so our first problem here is going to be x plus 3 squared divided by 36 plus y plus 5 squared divided by 100 equals 1. And so the biggest thing you have to do is figure out which formula to use on my sheet. So the important thing to look for here is that, so on that sheet, the important thing, as I was saying, is that A is bigger than B. So we always want to figure out on the bottom numbers of our fractions here, which is the bigger. So the bigger one here is the 100, right? And we can think of 100 as 10 squared, and we can think of 36 as 6 squared. So we're going to match this up with the formula x minus h squared over b squared plus y minus k squared over a squared equals 1. And so again, we're always going to let a be the bigger number. And so if we do that, then we have some formulas here. Our vertices are going to be h comma k plus a, h comma k minus a, and our foci, actually I'll write it kind of higher up here. Our foci are going to be h comma k plus c and h comma k minus c, where c is equal to a squared minus b squared. Okay, so we have to find a couple things. So first off, oops, and I missed a square. C squared is equal to a squared minus b squared. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to find C. So in our well, let's identify first. So our H is -3. Our B we set as 6. Our A is 10. And our K is going to be -5. So our C squared is going to be equal to a squared minus b squared. So it's going to be a squared minus b squared. So in this case, it's going to be 10 squared minus 6 squared. So 100 minus 36. So that means that c squared is going to be equal to 64, which means c is going to be equal to 8. So since c is a distance, we end up using the positive value. And now we just have to plug in. So, oh, and I didn't write down, but the center is going to be h comma k. So the center in this problem is going to be h, negative 3, comma, k, negative 5. The foci are going to be h, so negative 3, comma, k plus a, so negative 5 plus 10, and negative 3, comma, negative 5 minus 10. So that means our foci are negative 3, 5, and negative 3, oops, I wrote foci, but I meant vertices. Right, I'm doing the vertices. Vertices. It's negative 3, comma, negative 15. And then our foci are going to be, so it's h, comma, k plus c. So h, negative 3, comma, k, negative 5 plus 8. And h, comma, k minus c, so negative 3, comma, negative 5 minus 8, which means that they are negative 3, comma, 3, and negative 3, comma, negative 13. And so we'll do another one here. So b, x minus 1 squared divided by 100 plus y minus 2 squared divided by 64 equals 1. So again, the important thing is you want to look for the bigger number. The bigger number here is 10, or 100, which is 10 squared. So this is my a squared. 64 is 8 squared, so that's my b squared. And so in this case, we're going to match it up with x minus h squared over a squared plus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1. We're going to remember, we're going to use the formulas for that case. So the vertices are h plus a, comma, k, and h minus a, comma, k. And the foci are h plus c, comma, k, and h minus c, comma, k. So again, and same thing, we have to find c as well. And so c is still, c squared is equal to a squared minus b squared. So in our problem, a we said is 10, b we said is 8, h is going to be 1, k is going to be 2, and our center doesn't change. Our center, which I didn't write, again, is h, comma, k. So plugging in, I guess we could find c squared first. So c squared is a squared minus b squared. So c squared is going to be equal to 10 squared minus 8 squared. So c squared is going to be equal to 100 minus 64. So c squared is going to be equal to 36. So c is going to be 6, square root of 36. And we're taking the positive case. So our center is going to be at h, comma, k, so 1, comma, 2. Our vertices are going to be at h plus a, so 1 plus 10, comma, k, 2, and 1, so h minus a, so 1 minus 10, comma, 2. So that means they're going to be 11, comma, 2, and negative 9, comma, 2. And then our foci are going to be at h plus c, so 1 plus 6, comma, 2, and 1 minus 6, comma, 2. So they're going to be at 7, comma, 2, and negative 5, comma, 2. So it's really just a matter of plugging and chugging into the formulas that are on that sheet I have posted on Canvas.